Alright, welcome back to Feed the Beast with the Average Gamer Guy. We're back for another episode, and I'm not sure what to do this episode. I have some ideas. For some reason, I have this nagging feeling like there's something that I meant to do. Oh, I remember. That's right, we're doing bees. So I made a giant bee cave. There you go. Bees. Honeycomb. It's bee house. So, what we've done is we made a giant room. Oops. And then I opened it up and brought some dirt over because obviously there was just dirt inside there. So, easiest way to transfer dirt is to connect it to some other dirt and let it spread. Which is what we did. And now we have dirt everywhere. So, threw a couple apiary's chests in here because I'm going to go ahead and need to have some better bee maintenance than let's throw everything in a single chest that's not sorted or organized whatsoever. That's not going to work. So that's what we're going to be doing this episode. We're going to be doing some bees. This can't stay cobblestone because that just looks weird to have like bees living in a stone house. So I'm going to show you a cool way to do that. We're going to get some basic bees sort of set up. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Alright, I'll be back in a second. I suppose I should also take you on a slight highlight of the things that I've been up to. We've got a decent amount of these things coming in. I even had to put in a deep storage unit, which I then mostly emptied. Why did I mostly empty it? Well, we'll get to that in a second. There we go. No, now, you can also see I'm growing some henequen for some seed oil. And you can see these things. Hey, what are those things? That is Zycorium soil. So we take a look at that, and it's some green engineering blocks, any kind of sapling, and a piece of iron. So what's a green engineering block? Just some green zycordite, some stone bricks, and a piece of redstone. And that gets you 4 of those, and that gets you 2 soil. So the soil acts as tilled farmland, and it doesn't need a water source, and one of them grows things slightly slower than unfertilized soil. However, as you stack them, they're... Oh, hey, apparently there's no light down here. Oh, yeah. As you stack them, their ability to fertilize goes up. So one of them is slightly slower, 2 of them is a little faster, 3 of them is even faster, 4, 5, 6, 7 gets to be fairly quick when it grows things. So that's pretty cool. You know, and you just come through and clear it out, and you're good to go. Like, for instance, just in case you've never seen these things before, I don't even really have that many stacked up, because you can stack 30 of them. 30 high is about the speed, and you can see those that I planted are already starting to go through the growth phase. So I've really just done a couple rounds of coming over here and manually sort of just doing that. I'm not sure whether or not planters will work on those. I have not tested that out yet. Ooh, always lots of lag when I jump straight over here away from the Blaze farm. So what we do is we run in here and we go to our little squeezer and we just throw in our henequen. Usually I have more than one stack, huh? And then I've just been turning the leaves into, you can take henequen leaves and save them, or you can take the henequen leaves and turn them into twine, and then take twine, and 4 twine gets you some string. So that's yet another way to get string. Our seed oil is coming along. I also have constructed an additional carpenter and connected it up to the seed oil because we're going to need that. So far, all of these apiaries and these frames and everything are all ones that I found in either the village just outside here or another village that I found elsewhere that also had an apiarist villager. So that's where those came from, but we'll be building our own fairly shortly. I also have moved my quarry this way. So there's where my old quarry was. It finished up and went down to bedrock, and then I just moved it over so that this frame would lie on the first block. Oops, let's not go in there. The first block that was mined out by my previous quarry. That way, when it tries to mine things, it's going to mine into a giant hole. And you can see there's a weird water pattern over there because there was a little like pillar of lava that it didn't mine, so I had to cover it with water so that it would go ahead and mine that. And this thing's just cruising along. So, there it is. Always fun to just rip the world apart with a big fancy quarry. Now, that seems like an awful lot of stuff to have done in between episodes, I'm sure, especially since you can see how far along that quarry is. And the reason for that is, I now have a second boiler. It just wasn't cutting it previously. The one boiler, it was good, I was keeping even with the power production, but it needed some help. So, we had a total of 9 industrial steam engines running off the first boiler, and we've added a second 9 with the second one. And each one of those produces 8 Minecraft joules per tick, so 9 of them is 72, so that's an extra 144 Minecraft joules per tick. You can see this thing is able to stay maxed out. The only time it was really struggling before was when I would activate my assembly table with the 12 lasers on it. And the assembly table goes fast, but it uses lots of energy. But so anyway, those are the basic improvements that we made between last episode and this episode. There is one other improvement that we did do, and that is down here. You can see there's just a mess of pipes and tubes and everything. So now I decided it was time to automate this, and what I went ahead and did was we have, if I can get there, a wooden pipe with an autarkic gate that is just set to pulse, so it just pulses the inventory out, and this will send seeds down this tube and anything else down the red side. The seeds will come down here, and if there is room, there we go. If there is room, they will go inside here. If there is not room, they will go down this iron pipe, down the sandstone, up into this iron pipe, and flow down here. And at each junction there's an iron pipe so that it must flow. And all of the 3 things are set up the same way so that the seeds either come out of the chest and into the planter, or they progress down this main cobble line into, and it's a little hard to navigate under there, but into this chest. And so that's been running for a while. I've also gone ahead and I threw an obsidian pipe powered by 4 redstone engines to a chest with some eggs in it. And I've been sort of just chucking eggs over there every once in a while. Not like anything super serious. I mean, you know, we've got some chicken stuff coming, but not a ton. But so far, so good. So, first thing we're going to need to do is going to be in here, so let me grab the materials and I'll be back. Alright, so we need to make some stuff with Thaumcraft, and I haven't really done a lot with Thaumcraft after I built this, but I have done a fair bit of research so far, which you can see. You know, I've got some wands, I've got some shovels, you know, a decent amount. These things, for some reason, they don't have graphics. Probably will get the bees here soon. So, oops. You know, a decent amount of stuff. Yeah. But what we're going to be doing is we need to make, first things first, we need to make some magical building blocks, and those require some thaumium. And you can see from here, it's 8 metallum and 4 precantio per. Actually, is it 4? So I'm going to need 4 more pieces of silver wood, I think. And the way that works is it's in the cauldron, so you just come up, throw a couple of those in, throw a couple of those in, and bang. And that gives us a piece of, oof, 1 piece. Oh no, I miscalculated. Oh, yeah, you have to you do need to be somewhat careful when you're doing that. Because if you miscalculate, there goes your material and you didn't get anything for it. So we just wait for this to bubble again. Throw one of those in. I think 2 of those. And that gets us, yeah. So we're going to need one more piece of iron. And we gotta refill this. Alright, so we miss with the iron. Yeah. Can I get on the... Alright, whatever. So 2 of those, 4 of those, and that should get us 2 pieces. And then always good to refill it. So we've got our 4 there. What we're trying to make is some magical building blocks, and that's an arcane work table. 5 stone, 4 thaumium, and some V's. And obviously we already had that 1 wand in there. That's going to be 5 stone. The 4 thaumium we just made gets us 8 arcane stone blocks. Now, what we want to do with these, first, let me put my stone away. What we want to do with these is pick a nice place for where we're going to have our table. And I'm thinking maybe right here. So we're going to put down these 4 blocks. Let's see if I can find it in here. Is it? I don't think I have to research it. I mean, I'll find out in a second. I was just going to show you how you know to do it. Oh, there we go. So that you have to flip the pages. So if you put the 4 of them down, and it's a magical construct, so that means in the world, and use 25 V's, you get the arcane work table. So you click it, and then bang. All sorts of super fancy stuff. And it has a little interface that, again, requires a wand. So I'm going to run over here, put those away. Right here, grab this wand out of there. Come over here, and put that wand in there. Now, we're trying to make specifically the wand of equal trade. So if we look here, okay, it requires a wand, 3 V's shards, 50 V's, 4 instrumentum, and it looks like 16 or 18 permutato. So the first thing we need to do is come over here, and these have 4 instrumentum apiece. So if we need 4, that means we need 1 of those, so 1 stone shovel, and then we also need 18 permutato. So I believe eggs have 4, so 16, 20. So that will get us just what we need. Now, let's see here. We need to come over here, and we're going to need 3 of those, and I think we're going to need 1 of those, and let me be right back when I go grab something. Alright, so I went and grabbed some gold and some gold nuggets so that I could make a new wand, because I did not want to just get rid of my wands that I currently had. So, according to the recipe, we should have 3 of those, and that, and then you can see down here there's this fading outline of these 2 aspects, and that's telling us we need to have those. So how do we get those in there? Well, the way you get them in there is you come over to your crucible and you just throw the stuff in there. And then what we should see is when we come back here, they're nice and shiny. You can see there's particle effects. That's the aspects leaving the crucible and powering this up. And now that those are powered, and our wand's in there, and our recipe, we can take the Wand of Equal Trade. And there we go. We made the Wand of Equal Trade. So very cool, very, very cool. Now, let's show you how to use it, so I'll be back once I have those materials. Alright, so how do we use this? Well, the first thing we want to do is actually put down one of the blocks we want, and then crouch down, right-click, and you'll notice that that little glowy thing above my experience bar, holy cow, I have a lot of experience, I gotta get rid of that, turns into the stone, or the wood. And if I crouch down and click over here, it turns back to stone. Well, we want wood. You'll notice my inventory has a ton of redwood planks in it. So now if I come over here to the stone and click on it, you can see it just starts replacing that. Now, it's not trying to get into it. It's literally doing the work of replacing the cobble, dropping the cobble in my inventory, taking the redwood out, and replacing it. And it has a little health bar that it charges to do that, but so much easier than trying to go through and do this yourself. Things to keep in mind, if I'd had this when I did the top, I could have just cut a ring out around the outside to separate it from the sides, and then fallen all the way down. No, and then Wand of Equal traded the interior that's not connected to anything, because that's pretty much how this works. Is it works on what it's connected to, and it has a little range. It's like a 5x5, I think, that it changes. So there we go. So I'm going to finish Wand of Equal trading this whole thing, and then I'll be back. Alright, so we've replaced this, put a little decorative band around the inside, and I have gone ahead and sorted, to some degree, the bees just to get me sort of started. So we have a ton of rocky princesses and a ton of rocky drones, because that's what's in the ground, and the quarries have dug them up. A fair bit of marbled, again, same sort of reason. A few wintry, some meadows, some marshy, not very many forests, hardly any embittered. A couple modest, interestingly enough. And then some tropical queens, a marshy queen, a forest queen, a tropical queen. Really, you can't even sort. And a valiant drone. And then over here, we have nothing. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do is go find where I stuck all that equipment. Oh, I think... Did I put it over here? No. I think I put it over there. Which means it must be in here somewhere. Alright, well, let me find all that stuff and then I'll be back. Alright, so I have found this stuff. There's out of my action bar. And one of the things that we definitely need is a centrifuge. And we're going to need to take that up there. So how do you make a centrifuge? First you spell it right. There we go. So 6 copper, 2 glass, and a sturdy casing, which is a box of bronze. So that's fairly easy to make all of that. So we need a centrifuge, and that should mostly get us started. We have the carpenter down here. That's kind of unfortunate that our tank of seed oil is down here and our bees are up there. If I had that to do over again, I probably would have thought that through a little more. I suppose technically I could get a carpenter up here and some liquiducts to bring the seed oil all the way up here. That is not an impossibility. I might still do that, actually. Okay. So, bees, you know how to go get bees. The hives are out in the world, and you use a scoop and you mine them. And apiaries are made with 5 wooden planks, 3 wooden slabs, and an impregnated casing. Impregnated casings, that's why you need a carpenter with seed oil. are then just made with a box of logs, and that gets you 1 impregnated casings. Of course, these first 4 I got in villages. You could try and do the same thing. I just happened to get them, and I kept them, and 4 is a decent number to start, so that's sort of what we're going to start with. Now, when you set them down, it's important to note that when you then open them up, they have this pane, which tells you the climate. So the temperature is normal, and the humidity is damp. So different bees have different preferences as far as what they want. Some of them like damp, some of them don't. Now this little area, the reason I chose up here, and before you choose where you want your bees, you do want to take your apiary, run around and plop it down and see what you want. You know, over here, we've again got normal damp. This area where I'm going to have my machines and storage, again, normal and damp. However, over here, we have normal. And that's part of what made me come up here. Normal will get you most of the way that you need to go. And before you need to really, like, stop having a centralized bee area and start to have a little more diversified bee depending on what you're going to do. But I do have the damp, which was kind of cool, so I went ahead and built it because I did have the normal. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and throw down these guys in the normal. Is that how far? Nope, that went to damp. That's damp. That's right, it's a little short. So I think if we put this here and here, yeah. So, what do you do next? Well, if you look in there, it tells you right away the problem it has. Hey, there's no queen. So supply this hive with a queen or a princess and a drone. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to go to our, just to show how this is done, our rocky drone and a rocky princess. And we'll just go in. The princess goes up top. Mating requirements, a drone present. There's our drone, and then this little bar goes up, and that's them mating. When that happens, bam, she's a queen, and now all these little bee particles go out, and they're looking for stuff. And in just a second, it's going to argue with me. Because those bees are going out, and they're looking for pollen. And they're looking to find pollen to bring back to produce things. And it's not going to find any, basically. So while they're doing that, we're going to go ahead and decide that we want our centrifuge to be, let's put him right here. And then what we want is underneath him, let's see, let's put our energy tesseract sort of right there, and then take some redstone and hook him up MJ power. So set the frequency for MJ power, and we want a wrench to wrench this to open. And that thing has lit up. There we go, get out of the hole. So it has power, but it doesn't have any recipes, but it does have power, so it should be pretty much good to go. Let's fill in this hole. I like the step-up thing, but sometimes it does cause an issue when you're trying to fix little problems like that. Oh yeah, you know what? Pretty sure we want this let's go ahead and get this guy down a level there. That way we can do a decent job of hiding that stuff. So, what can you centrifuge? Well, you can take honeycomb, put it in there. Now that it has a recipe, the little error message goes away, and it's going to centrifuge, and it's going to produce some beeswax and a honey drop. Okay. different honeycombs, or different combs provide different things. Okay. Well, it looks like our queen is not arguing with us. I expected her to, but I guess she's not going to. Fair enough. That's not what we wanted. I want to grab... right next to that, we're going to go ahead and put a princess and a meadows princess and a meadows drone, and let them sort of go for it. Okay, now we have our queen, and let's see. So there they go. You can see the little red particles instead of the little white particles. And now immediately they say, oh, it's not daytime. They don't like it. And you look up, ah, it's not. They don't seem to be bothered by this because I guess they're used to being underground. So they don't care. Their particles are still coming out. You'll notice the meadows, the particles are not coming out. Nothing is happening. It's nighttime. So when it becomes day, I will come back. I'm going to go sleep through the night, and then I'll be back. Alright, it is daytime, and then we're back, and we're just... Notice that when you go ahead and centrifuge some things, you can get beeswax and honey drop. You can also get other stuff like this crystalline pollen. So, neat. We'll get into that stuff a little bit later. Alright, our rocky guys are still going. However, our meadows queen has another thing. Oh, there's no flowers. Hive members are not finding the right flowers. Well, if you look around, that's because there are no flowers. So if we take a quick little bone meal, we will fail to generate any flowers. So that's always nice. I guess instead of bringing bone meal, I should have just brought some flowers. But I didn't. Let's see if we can get lucky here. Ah, there we go. Alright, so let's come back over here. Take some hydrangeas, some flowers, and we'll just throw down some flowers, hydrangea, I don't know. I'm not a flower person. There. Put some flowers around there. In a little bit, they should find the flowers, and it should be fine. There we go. So you'll notice the arrow went away. Her bar is not decreasing. This is her life bar. So as it decreases, it shows her production. So when we get a little closer to the end there, I'll be back. Alright, and when we look at our Rocky here, what we've got is a drone and a princess. So that's all we got out of all of that. Just a drone and a princess. So we can just stick them back in. They will form a queen again and start over. Alright, so I made an additional carpenter because I needed one that's filled with water, and the two I have in there, one is piped to seed oil and the other is piped to creosote oil. So I decided to go ahead and just make one that is piped to water, which is okay. It's not piped, I'm sorry, not piped to water. I just threw some water cans in there and filled it up that much, because there are a couple things we're going to need that do involve water, and eventually this will probably get converted over maybe to honey. If you know, I don't know. I might just leave this one as a water that I fill with water as I need it, and then make another one for honey. I don't know. Regardless, it's night, so while these bees aren't working, you can see the queen is gone, and I got 2 drones and a princess out of it. So it's sort of a, you know, you always get a princess, and oftentimes you will get more than 1 drone. Now, on this side, I got a princess and a drone, but I also got a rocky comb, which is sort of what you're looking for to get those combs, because then you come over to the centrifuge, and you centrifuge, and hopefully you get something more than just beeswax, but that's what you hope to get. Oftentimes you don't, but that's what you hope. Yeah. So, I think that's going to do it for this episode. A little bit of a start to bees. We'll come back next episode and get a little more into sort of the beginning of them. I've only played around with bees a little bit, so by no means am I an expert. So, it'll be interesting to sort of learn, you guys can see, hey, how does somebody even go about doing this when they're not an expert. I know a lot of times when you see stuff online, either things people have written or comments people have made or posts on Reddit or forums or wikis or whatever, it seems like there's always a plethora of experts, and it seems like a somewhat daunting task to undertake it for the first time. But that's what we're going to do. So, you can see how I go about sort of learning and homogenizing all of this information that is out there into some sort of plan of action here. So for now, that's going to do it for this episode. We will come back next time and continue on with the bees. So this is the Average Gamer Guy. Feed the Beast, Minecraft. Have a good day.